All right. We are the biblical Hebrew Israelites, and we want to give all praises and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha, Rekah, Kodash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which taught us the truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, so we're talking about the end of days through prophecy, okay? 2nd Ezra 15, Matthew 24, Maccabees chapter 1, 1st Maccabees chapter 1. All right, it talks about how the end of America will be, all right? Start with the 2nd Ezra
I got it.
15.
Verse 1?
Yeah.
2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said Yahushai.
Right, so prophecy, it pertains to the scriptures, and his people are the Israelites. Judah, the so-called Negro; Benjamin, the so-called West Indian; Levi, the Haitians; Simeon, the Dominicans; Zebulun, the Guatemalans to the Panamanians; Ephraim, the Puerto Ricans; Manasseh, the Cubans; Gad, the North American Indians; Reuben, the Seminole Indians; Naphtali, the Argentinian to the Chileans; Asher, the Colombians to the Uruguayans; Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. All right? These are his people, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. Go ahead.
And cause them to be written in paper.
Which we have them in a book now. You got the Holy Scriptures, which it was originally a scroll first. It was first originally actually a word, and then it was in a scroll, and then it was in a book now for our sake. And now you got, even on the phone, you could get the Bible, all right? Which proves that Daniel 12, knowledge shall increase in the last days.
And it's increased because you can go to that interliner and look these words up, right, like charagma.
Right, or the history, you don't have to go to a library no more. Sure, on my phone, I got a library. There's an app called Hoopla here in Colorado, and you could get all the library books you want. You know, you got a limit, but that's what I do for my history, is I'll listen to a book of certain...
audio books?
Yeah.
And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Right. Behold, said Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore said Yahushai, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Right, so you got them that are dead in the spirit, right? They're in the spirit world, the flesh is dead, and they're crying. And then the ones that are alive, that are prophesying. You call? Mm-hmm. Grab Revelation 6, and I believe it's like 9.
Revelation 6, 9. Okay. There we go.
You want to read it?
That's,
let's get this one first. 6, verse 9, yep.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, and I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
Should be fulfilled. All right. So there's a time that is set up by Yahweh that there's a certain amount of things that are going to be taking place. All right, that are prophecy. First of all, some of the elect are going to die. Not all of us, only a few of us, because there's only a few elect. It says that it's precious, and that even 1 Corinthians it says that. We call it 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 51. All right. Also, the microchip, the implantable microchip, is going to be on the scene and be made present and be made mandatory for buying and selling. That's prophecy. Revelation 13, 16, 17, and 18.
The uproars are already happening.
Uproars of the people. So all these things are happening in this generation. All right. Go ahead. You got that?
This is 1 Corinthians 15, verse 1?
51.
Oh, 51. Okay. We get that one.
All right. So all these prophecies is what we're supposed to be looking at. Brother, get 2 Ezra 9.
Okay.
Can we get it now?
Yeah.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51. Behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
All right. That's right there. That we're not all going to die. Esau has it in his intentions to kill us all, but it's not going to be allowed. All right. The Lord's going to preserve the majority of the elect, but a few of us are going to be sacrificed for the testimony which we hold, which is the prophecy of Yahushai. We're telling them that Yahushai is coming back, and he's coming back to judge. All right? You got that?
Yeah. 1.
Yeah.
2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Mm-hmm. The end is manifest. How do we know it's the end? Because of the signs of the times.
It said uproars.
Uproars, right.
There's people rioting all over the world.
Here in America.
Mm-hmm.
They just tore down in New York C-19 jab location. You know, they freaking beat the people up and tore up their tent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's going to increase because there's famine on the horizon here in America.
And they're talking, the news saying violence from 2020 to 2021 is like the highest since the 90s.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Since the Rodney King.
Yeah, it's going up.
Yeah. But now it's nationwide. It ain't just in an isolated place.
Yeah, it's not just California. It's
Yeah.
all around the world. I mean, all around America.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, measuring the time, seeing these prophecies that are in the scriptures. All right. This is why we have these scriptures. So that we could be aware and not be offended. All right.
We know persecution's coming.
Right. Prepare. Get 2 Ezra. No. What is it? Ecclesiastes 2.
Yeah.
Prepare your soul.
Ecclesiastes, or Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Right, so we're in the end. All right, and go ahead.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
So now, is this the end of Jacob or Esau? It's the end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob. Since you got the Apocrypha, grab 2 Ezra 6 and verse
7.
Where he grabs the hill of Esau?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? He said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Grab Malachi 1.
Malachi 1.
Yep. So that was prophecy when they were born in Genesis 25. All right, Esau was born first. You gotta remember they were fighting in the womb.
Yeah, she said, why am I thus?
Really, Jacob was supposed to be the firstborn,
Mm-hmm.
but Esau was fighting to get out, trying to kill Jacob, and Jacob's hand was holding on to Esau's heel. And recently,
that reminds me of that Genesis 49.
Mm-hmm.
Your Judah, your hand will be in the neck of your enemy.
Yeah, they actually just recently had a video of a woman having twins, and they were fighting in her womb.
Wow, yeah.
And they were kicking each other and punching and everything, little babies. You know? And so Esau came out, and that's why the prophecy goes to Jacob, because Esau was actually, through prophecy he was born first.
Yeah.
And all
He
that.
was supposed to be the one that gets the kingdom.
Right. But it goes to Jacob. So the Lord made it to where it all set up. It's all prophesied.
They said he supplanted him, but he just wanted some bloody meat.
Right.
Bloody pottage.
Right. Or even remember Perez?
Breach.
He breached. His arm came out and then he went back in.
She tied her little red thing around his wrist.
Yeah, and then the other baby came out.
Yeah, this one breached.
So, all right. So according to the our ways, the older was to get more than the younger. All right, and then the younger was to get a portion. And so Esau was born. Jacob hounded his hill, which was, when they seen it, they already knew there was prophetic prophecy pertaining to this. All right, which was Jacob getting the end of the kingdom. He was getting his kingdom was gonna come when Esau's kingdom went down. Go ahead, you
Go on. Malachi chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord Yahweh? Yet I love Jacob.
Right, so even though Esau was born first, the love was for Jacob. All right, the Lord Yahweh loved Jacob. Okay, he chose Jacob even though Esau was born first. Go ahead.
And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
And why? Because he was Cain. Okay, Cain killed his brother Abel, hid his body, and the Lord took his pigment from him, the melanin from his skin.
And what did Yahweh say? Love your brother like you love yourself. And what did Esau say? Am I my brother's
keeper?
Right? We are our brother's keepers.
And what did he do? He removed that skin color from Cain, and when Cain died, he was reincarnated. The Bible tells you of reincarnation. You don't go into a lake of hell underneath the earth. Okay? That's a made-up man's doctrine. All right? They did that so that you would pay the
tithes.
Yeah, the false prophets church, which is the Roman Catholic Church, which all these false religions come out of there. Your Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all that shit comes out of that false prophet. Right? But they got it so that you pay that money to their organizations. Okay? But there's no hell under the earth. You're in hell right now if you're an Israelite, and you're in heaven right now if you're an Edomite. Alright? Right now in this living realm is where hell and heaven take place.
Just like in the kingdom, Esau's going to be in hell, and we're going to be in heaven.
Right. So Esau is at the end of his heaven, and we're at the end of our hell. How do we know? Because just like you read, he loved Jacob and hated Esau. Well, the whole time, everybody thought he loved Esau. Then they say, God bless America. They thought God was with America. But if God was with America, which our Father's name is Yahweh, why is He plaguing this place?
Mm-hmm.
Because He doesn't love this place.
He actually hates. He's gonna burn it.
Right, because they're guilty of blasphemy. They're guilty of murder. They're guilty of much sin against our Lord. All right?
These elite know He hates them.
Right. So that's why it said in 2 Ezra 15, their wickedness had polluted the whole earth, which is part of their philosophies. All right? And now, the implantable microchip. All right? They're pushing this worldwide.
Why do you think they're collapsing the economy?
Right? So we're at the end of the so-called white man, and we're at the beginning. Go ahead, you call read a little more on that.
Con. Malachi 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Jehovah of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness.
And what do they call their build back better?
Yeah, I was gonna think of that. I was gonna say that.
Right? Which that's Esau's spirit. Build back better.
Make America great again.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't be like that, you know. It be like environment of death everywhere, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever.
Righteous anger. Why? For what they done to Jacob, the Israelite, and what they've done with his images. They've lied to the whole entire world. They deceived the whole entire world to make them think that the true power, the true God, is a so-called white man, which is blasphemy. All right, that's the weakest image of a man there is.
The strongest is Judah.
Right, to look like a so-called Negro.
Mm-hmm.
See? And they made the son and the father look weak.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord Yahweh will be magnified from the border of Israel.
So to tell who the Israelites are, we're going to be magnifying Yahweh. Yeah, through Yahweh Shai. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Alright, in the name of Yahweh Shai. And that's how you know. Where's Esau at? Is he doing this? Are the Jewish doing this? Are the Christians doing this? No. The Israelites are doing this. And we're standing up on our feet, and it says, great fear fell upon them. So now they're bringing out their new world order as a defense to this truth. See? And they're trying to attack the prophets just like they done in the past because they're afraid that it's their end. But there ain't nothing they could do. Because what happened to Yahushua and the apostles in the past? They were killed violently. Yahushua was crucified, nailed to a cross, all right, hung from a tree. Apostle Peter, he was crucified upside down. You had Apostle Paul beheaded in Rome. All right? So why did they do that? Because they became enemies to the state. Why? Because they were saying this place is going to be destroyed. See, there's a new kingdom. See, and it pertains to the kingdom of heaven, which is the Israelites. Yaakov, you want to get to Matthew 24.
Matthew 24.
All right, because it tells you, if you want to grab Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 15, everything happens in a repeat because the souls are reincarnated and they redo the same things over and over and over again. All right?
Which one you want first?
3:15, the Ecclesiastes,
Okay.
and then he could read the message.
This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been.
Right? So that which is to be, all right, it happened already.
Like that Rome,
Mm-hmm.
they got...
January 6th.
Yep.
That already happened in Rome before. This is reincarnation of Rome. America is. If you want to go to... Is that the end of that verse?
No, one more.
Go ahead.
And Yahweh requireth that which is past.
Now jump to the same book, chapter 1, and I think it's like 8 or 9.
9?
Yeah. It says the same thing pretty much.
Yeah, it's 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is. that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done.
Right? So like the brother said, January 6th, the American modern day Romans ran into their capital, right? Stormed the capital. Well, in ancient Rome, they did that too. See, so it's a repeat. Everything repeated. Everything is repeated. Even the spirits, the same spirits from the past are today doing the same things that they did back then. That's why we know the Greeks and the Edomites are the same Edomites today. See? Because they did the same thing that they're going to do today, just like they done in the past. Just like the Israelites.
When they, in Maccabees, where they try to make them all bow and worship the same thing.
Or eat pork.
Oh, yeah, eat pork.
They put pork in everything now. They're forcing that shit upon us. See? Because they know who we are, and they know that that's like kryptonite to us. Because that goes against our power.
Or this potion they got. Sorcery.
And they know it. It's in the movies. They know who they are. And they know they fucked up. Like in that movie, Shazam. In the movie Shazam, remember Shazam is a so-called black man with white woolly hair. And he tells that little Edomite, he says, your heart is unfit to ever hold power.
Their heart is not lifted up right in them.
Right.
Um,
And he says that. He goes, when he gets back, he finds his way back in there, he tells Shazam, he says, you know what it does to a little boy to be told that you hate him and that he'll never be nothing?
what did they say when we're at camp?
And we just read it. Yahweh and Yahweh shall love
Jacob
and hate Esau.
And can the thing made tell the thing that made, or the one that made it, why you made me thus?
Right, Romans 9, right?
And there is no new thing under the sun.
So there's nothing new under the sun. All right? The same plan that they did as Greeks to the Israelites, the same plan that they had as Romans against the Israelites, they're going to do it today as Americans against the Edomites. And they're already doing it. All right? The sieging of America is already happening. All right? The word siege, when you look it up, it means to sit at the gates, which we were just talking about before we got online. And what did it say? What did they do in 70 AD? They stopped them from getting resources.
They built like a wall around it.
Right. And who did that? The Roman Edomites. See? And they did it as Greek Edomites too. All right? Go ahead, Jacob. Read that Matthew 24.
Matthew 24.
And Yahweh prophesied of Matthew 24, 70 AD. Which it really started in 66 AD. By the father of Titus, the Roman. And Titus was the one to finish it. But it took years because they didn't have vehicles like the past. Like now in the past. So, when they were on horse and carriage, it took time to get around to all these places. Like now, they got jet airplanes, they got all these different things to show you that we are in the last days. That's why we got them today. That's another prophecy of being in these last days, because it says, what is it, Daniel 12? You want to grab that up?
Yeah.
Real quick, and we'll go on with this Matthew 24. It says that they shall be able to go to and fro.
Yeah, it's Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end.
So the understanding of the book will come at the end. That's why we have this great understanding now. Right?
Many shall run to and fro.
Okay, to and fro. You got these airlines, these people at the airport complaining because they're not able to travel the distances that they wanted. And they say, why don't you take a car? Because you could travel faster through a plane. It takes 2 hours instead of 2 days. You see? So that's what it's talking about. They weren't able to do this back in the past. That's why it took 7 years to conquer Jerusalem in that time. See?
But this time they got cars and tanks and they're going to come in faster.
Oh, robots. AI.
Technology.
And knowledge shall be increased.
Knowledge shall be increased. You got Google. Shit, they got robots driving cars now. They didn't have robots back then.
They kill some people, but they still got them.
Yeah. But see, so we're in the last end of Esau's kingdom, of his ruling. This is the end.
Mhm.
All right? Now go ahead, you call get Matthew 24.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to shew him the buildings of the temple.
Right, so this is actually talking about the temple that Solomon built, and it had to be rebuilt because it was, sieged. But in Luke 21, let me get this precept 36. It says, it's probably Mark 13. But it tells you that it's the actual building. Mark 13 verse 1, and as he went out of the temple, which we got to remember, Yahushua was King Solomon, and he built that temple for Yahweh. All right? And the temple, once again, was sacked by the Greeks. All right? It was other kingdoms that actually went in there too, like the Babylonians. But right now we're dealing with the Greeks and the Roman, the Edomites. All right? So it was rebuilt multiple times. One of his disciples saith unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here. So the disciples were complimenting the buildings, Like, you see this beautiful place? Because it was covered in gold and all that, And it says that Yahushua answering said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So this in Matthew 24 right here in the beginning is talking about Jerusalem. Okay? And he's pretty much talking about them, not now, but talking about when World War III happens. What's going to happen with World War III? It's going to be a nuclear war. And one of the places that's going to get hit with nuclear missiles is Jerusalem. Okay? Go ahead and go on in verse 2.
And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Right? So when those nuclear missiles start to fly, Jerusalem itself, all right, is going to be destroyed. But Jerusalem is going to be rebuilt up on the back of our slaves. All right? America is going to be thrown down even worse, but it's not going to be rebuilt. This is 2nd Ezra 16. It says in verse 1, Woe be unto thee, Babylon, which is America, who are to be destroyed, and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria, which Israel is on the continent of Asia. There's no country called Asia. All right? There's not one country called Asia.
It's a whole continent.
It's a continent. And Israel is on that continent. It's not on the continent of Africa. It's on the continent of Asia, and it's in between Egypt and Syria. So Israel is going to be destroyed by nuclear missiles. Those bastards that are there in that land are going to suffer fire just like these bastards here in America. Okay? But America,
they call them Big Satan and Little Satan.
Right.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Right. And you got Jake that they're not even asking this right now. That shows you the mindset of Jake today. They don't even ask that question.
Yeah.
At least back then they were like, hey, is this the end? Because they even asked him that in Acts. Watch. In Acts 1, they said, are you going to restore the kingdom to Israel? Yeah. After he was resurrected, it says in Acts chapter 1, verse 6, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Because they knew there was going to be a restoring. Because right now, at this time, when Yahushua was present with them as the Messiah, they were oppressed by who? The Romans, the Greeks. You still had the Greeks there, like Herod, all right, which he was the governor of Jerusalem, and then you had Pontius Pilate, which was the Roman Edomite over the Greek Edomite, all right, because the Greeks and the Romans were the same people, but the Greeks came first and then the Romans, all right. So you had the Greeks and then the Romans. And now we're in the reincarnation of the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many.
Oh yeah, right there. All right, this ain't the only one, all right? But this is a good example of what he's talking about.
The Catholics, the Christian churches,
the false prophets of the Israelites.
Oh, God.
You know? So he's saying, take heed that no man deceive you.
What do they say? Your sin, the law is done away with?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they say God loves everybody.
Yep.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right? Which is happening. And you know what the precept is? Revelation 6 on my book here. And what is Revelation 6? It's the release of Esau into the world.
The red horse?
Let me get that real quick. 6 and its verse. I'll jump to the point. It says 2 and 4, the release of the red horse, which Esau is the devil the Bible speaks of. But I'm going to go to verse 8. It says, And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And these horses are actually angels that are in chariots, and they actually, like Esau. Esau isn't fucking, the most intelligent man in the world. He can't be. He's fucking drinking shit water with us. He's trying to poison us, but he's drinking the same shit water.
Or spraying the skies and he's breathing the shit too.
Right. So he's like the outer Apostle Tarzan, a sophomore. Meaning a moron of Sophia. But the Sophia he receives is satanic. Right? So that red horse is pertaining to satanic angels that actually give him the wisdom that he needs to develop a nuclear missile.
Like, doesn't he know if you kill someone, your blood must be killed?
Right.
And this dummy is killing a bunch of people.
A good example, too, is that satanic wisdom is the CERN. That came from the spirit realm.
Guns. The guns. How the heck did he come up with the guns?
So it says that there's spirits of death and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword and with hunger and with death and with the beast of the earth. Hey, didn't they just have robotic dogs?